The cold art of survival. Imagine the coldest day of your life. Now multiply it by 5, and you might begin to understand what the Inuit face on a regular basis. At 64 degrees C, even the freezer in your kitchen would feel like a summer breeze. I once complained when my heating broke in winter. But imagine living in a world where the cold doesn't just sting your skin, it devours it. While we wrap ourselves in blankets and twist the thermostat to the max, Inuit families learn to sleep in these brutal conditions, without any modern heating at all. They turn survival into an art form, built on knowledge passed down through generations. To truly grasp the scale, consider this. At those temperatures, metal becomes so brittle it can shatter like glass. Exposed skin freezes in under 30 seconds. So how do they even manage to live like this? It all begins with something that looks deceptively simple: the igloo. But believe me, it's not just a cute snow house. You might be wondering, how can a structure made of snow keep you warm when it's colder outside than between a penguin's toes? Well, the igloo only seems simple from the outside. Inside, it's a brilliantly engineered masterpiece. Not random piles of snow, but a precise architectural design that would make modern engineers scratch their heads in admiration. Let me explain the genius behind these icy shelters. First, the snow blocks aren't just stacked. They're placed in a perfect spiral. Each block leans slightly inward, forming what engineers call a catenoid curve. That means the dome is so strong it won't collapse. Even if a curious kid climbs on top, the blocks themselves aren't made from fluffy snow like you'd use for snowmen. They're carved from densely packed hardened snow, one of nature's best insulators. Inside each block are thousands of tiny air pockets, trapping warmth just like a winter jacket. Inside an igloo, the temperature can rise to plus 116 degrees, purely from the heat of human bodies. No stoves, no heaters, just people and their own warmth doing the work. Have you ever been stuck in a small elevator packed with people? Same principle, except this time it's actually useful. The dome shape plays another crucial role: natural air circulation. Cold air sinks toward the entrance, which is built lower than the living space, while warm air rises to where people sleep. That tunnel at the entrance? It's not for decoration. It acts like an airlock on a spaceship, keeping the precious warm air inside and blocking the deadly Arctic wind outside. And here's something fascinating. Some traditional igloos even had multiple rooms, actual snow mansions. The science of warmth. Inside an igloo, survival depends on one small detail: the air you breathe. That tiny hole at the top of the dome isn't decoration. It's a lifeline. Without it, the air would turn poisonous while you sleep. Warm air rises, carrying the carbon dioxide we exhale. The vent lets it escape, and in return, fresh air slowly seeps in. It's a perfect balance between warmth and breathability, discovered long before modern science explained it. As the warm air meets the icy ceiling, something fascinating happens. A thin layer of snow melts, then instantly freezes again. This creates a smooth, glassy surface that seals the roof, strengthening the igloo even more. Nature's version of insulation, built automatically every night. Inside, temperatures can reach plus 16 degrees. No stove, no electricity. Just the warmth of people reflected and trapped by snow. If it ever gets too warm, they simply widen the vent, the Arctic version of turning down the heater. But even the best igloo means nothing without proper clothing. For the Inuit, what they wear isn't fashion, it's survival engineering. The base layer is made of caribou hide, fur facing inward. It wicks away moisture faster than any modern fabric. Because in this world, sweat kills and it freezes to ice in seconds. The middle layer traps air, forming thousands of tiny insulation pockets. That's the real secret. Not heat, but trapped air. The more air you hold, the warmer you stay. The outer layer, made from sealskin, acts as armor. It blocks the wind and repels water, thanks to the natural oils in the hide. Even in a blizzard, it stays flexible and dry. Each piece is hand-stitched, customized for the hunter who wears it. No zippers, no synthetics, only precision, patience, and centuries of experience. When they step outside, it's not just to endure the cold, it's to walk comfortably through it. To them, the Arctic isn't a nightmare. It's home. The night beneath the ice. When the Arctic sun disappears and the world turns white and silent, life inside the igloo slows to a rhythm older than memory. Night in the Arctic isn't just cold, it's endless. For months, darkness stretches across the horizon, broken only by the pale glow of the moon and the flicker of a seal oil lamp. Inside, families prepare for sleep, but not the way we do. There are no blankets, no pillows, no flickering TV. Instead, warmth comes from clever design, ancient materials, and the quiet trust that everything is built exactly as it should be. At the center of the igloo burns a single quillik, a traditional lamp carved from soapstone and fueled by seal fat. Its small yellow flame provides both light and heat, dancing against the curved ice walls. That flame is more than fire. It's survival. It melts snow for drinking water, dries clothing, and keeps the air just warm enough for rest. The sleeping area is raised above the ground, built from blocks of packed snow and covered with layers of animal hides, usually caribou or polar bear. Why raised? Because cold air sinks. By lifting the bed platform even a few feet higher, the Inuit stay above the densest, coldest air. It's natural insulation, no mattress required. Before sleeping, hunters often warm stones near the quillik and wrap them in skin to place under their bedding. A primitive, brilliant version of a hot water bottle. These stones release heat slowly through the night, keeping the family warm while outside temperatures plunge far below zero. And then silence. The kind of silence so complete you can hear your own breath echo inside the dome. The snow walls muffle every sound, the wind, the wolves, the shifting ice. For a few hours, the Arctic seems almost peaceful. Children sleep beside their parents, wrapped tightly in shared hides. Body heat is pooled, not wasted. Every breath, every exhale contributes to the warmth of the space. It's a perfect example of human cooperation turned into physics. In the morning, the first one awake stokes the flame, melting snow for tea. The others slowly rise, shaking off frost from their clothes. Sometimes ice crystals form on eyelashes and hair, tiny frozen crowns marking another night survived. The air inside is heavy but safe, gently warmed, faintly scented with seal oil and smoke. It's not comfort as we know it. It's endurance turned into daily ritual. Outside, the horizon glows blue as dawn creeps over the ice. The igloo stands silent, steaming slightly from the warmth within, proof that, even here, human life adapts. To the Inuit, every night spent in an igloo is a quiet victory, a reminder that knowledge, not strength, is what keeps them alive, that the cold is not their enemy, only another force to understand. And as the hunters prepare to step out once more, to face a world of white and wind, they do it calmly, because they've learned something the rest of us often forget. You don't conquer nature. When daylight finally returns to the Arctic, it brings not warmth, but opportunity. For the Inuit hunter, this is the moment to provide. The long night is over, and the ice becomes not a barrier but a bridge. A vast white world filled with silent life, hidden beneath its frozen skin. The most prized of all catches is the seal, powerful, sleek, and weighing up to 200 kilograms. To us, it's a distant, almost mythical creature. To the Inuit, it's food, clothing, fuel, life itself. But hunting a seal in this environment is no easy task. There are no nets, no sonar, no modern weapons. Only patience, instinct, and a deep understanding of nature's rhythms. The hunt begins with a single sound, a soft, almost invisible whisper from the ice. The hunter kneels, presses his ear to the frozen surface, and listens. Somewhere below, a seal rises for air. That's when the hunter finds what they call the igloo, the breathing hole. Seals need air just like we do. Throughout the winter, they keep several of these holes open, scraping away ice from beneath with their sharp claws. But to find one in a world of endless white takes more than luck. It takes generations of knowledge. Once the breathing hole is found, the real test begins, waiting. The hunter builds a small wall of snow around himself to block the wind. He lowers his hood, steadies his breath, and becomes motionless. Not for minutes and for hours. Sometimes the hunter waits all day, motionless in temperatures that would freeze machinery solid. Every sense sharpens. He listens for the faintest crack, the soft pop of ice shifting. He watches the hole, scanning for the slightest movement of air or ripple of water. Then suddenly, as a seal surfaces, a flash of instinct, the hunter strikes with a harpoon, a weapon crafted from bone, sinew, and sharpened ivory. No wasted motion, no noise. The line attached to the harpoon jerks and the seal dives, but it's already caught. Pulling a 200-kilogram animal through a narrow hole in the ice isn't brute force. It's leverage and precision. The hunter uses a rhythm, pulling, pausing, letting the seal tire itself before hauling it slowly upward. Every movement is quiet, measured, respectful. When the hunt is done, nothing is wasted. The meat feeds families. The fat becomes oil for lamps. The skin is tanned into waterproof clothing. Even the bones are turned into tools and ornaments. For the Inuit, hunting isn't killing. It's continuing the circle of life. They thank the seal in silence, a gesture of respect, not superstition. Because here, every creature's existence is bound together by the same rule: survival through balance. Modern life may look easier, but it has forgotten something vital: connection. The Inuit haven't. Each hunt, each breath, each heartbeat under the ice is a reminder that humans and nature were never meant to be enemies. The wisdom of the ice. When the hunt ends, the story doesn't. The return home is quiet, humble, the hunter dragging the seal across the frozen plain under a sky of shimmering green light. The northern lights dance above as if the earth itself is celebrating survival. Back at the village, no one rushes. There's no cheering, no noise, and only silent respect. The people gather as the meat is divided, each family receiving a share. Children watch closely, learning the rituals that have kept their ancestors alive for thousands of years. Here the hunt is never about glory, it's about gratitude. Inside the igloos, the air fills with the scent of seal meat roasting over the qualic flame. Stories flow, not from books or screens, but from the elders. Their words move like slow rivers, connecting the past to the present. They speak of spirits in the wind, of mistakes that cost lives, and of lessons carved into memory by frost and time. One elder might say, "The ice is alive. It listens. Treat it with respect and it will hold you. Forget that and it will take you." To outsiders, these may sound like myths, but in truth they're wisdom disguised as poetry. Survival rules encoded in story. The Inuit teach their children to watch the snow's texture, to read the wind's voice, to hear the difference between safe ice and dead ice. They know that nature always speaks first. You just have to learn the language. When spring comes, the igloos melt away, leaving no trace. No garbage, no scars on the land. Only the memory of footprints that soon vanish under new snow. To the Inuit, this is the highest form of harmony. To live fully, yet leave nothing behind. Today, much has changed. Some now live in modern houses with electricity and satellite internet. Snowmobiles replace sled dogs and rifles replace harpoons, but deep inside the same code remains. Respect the land. Take only what you need. And never forget who you are when the world turns silent and white. In a time when most of us live disconnected from nature, their wisdom feels almost sacred. They remind us that progress without balance is emptiness. That survival isn't just about strength, it's about humility. As the Arctic wind rises again, the hunters step out once more, quiet, calm, prepared. They carry no fear, only purpose. Because the Inuit understand something simple and eternal. We don't live on this earth. We live with it. Long after the fire in the quillic fades, and the snow outside begins to glow with the first light of dawn, life in the Arctic continues, slow, deliberate, eternal. The hunt, the igloo, the ancient songs, they are more than traditions. They are maps of survival, written in ice, memory, and silence. Modern life has crept into the Arctic, of course. There are metal boats now, GPS devices, and heated houses. But even with all this, the old ways still whisper through every gust of wind. When the storm howls, people still listen, and because out here, arrogance can kill faster than cold. The young learn from the old, not through lectures, but through watching. A father showing how to cut a perfect snow block. A grandmother teaching how to tell if the ice beneath your feet is ready to break. These are lessons no book can teach, because they're not just about technique. They're about awareness. A way of thinking that sees nature not as an obstacle, but as a companion. When an Inuit child hears the cracking of the ice, they don't panic. They listen. They know that every sound has meaning, that even danger speaks, if you know its voice. That's the true genius of the Arctic people. They never tried to dominate nature. They partnered with it. Every tool, every ritual, every quiet act of survival is a dialogue between human and earth. And maybe that's what we've lost elsewhere. The ability to live with the world instead of against it. We build walls, they build understanding. We chase comfort, they master patience. We consume, they conserve. As the last stars fade behind the horizon and the sky turns a soft blue, a new generation steps onto the ice. The air bites at their faces, the same way it bit their ancestors centuries ago. But their hearts carry the same fire, a calm, quiet confidence that says, the sound of sled dogs breaks the stillness, their paws striking the snow in rhythm. A hunter's shadow moves, a dark figure against an ocean of white. And that's the essence of the Inuit spirit, and not conquest,